Brisbane City Council's Wynnum Central Suburban Renewal Precinct Plan is the biggest shake-up the Bayside has seen in years. Taller buildings, more homes, and a revamped town centre near Wynnum Central Station. If you own here or you're thinking of buying, here's the plain English version of what's changing and what to keep an eye on before you sign anything. This is big news for the Bayside. After a bit of back and forth with the community, Brisbane City Council's plan to reshape the heart of Wynnum has cleared the biggest hurdle. The state government has signed off and council is moving towards formally locking everything in. Translation: Wynnum's town centre is about to change in a real way, and that has flow-on effects for anyone who owns property here or has been eyeing one off. So what's actually happening, and should you care? Short answer: if you live in Wynnum, are thinking of selling, or fancy buying one of the shiny new apartments that'll spring up, yes. All right, let's break it down. What Wynnum looks like right now. Quick picture first, because it makes the change easy to grasp. Wynnum today is a low-rise and low-key suburb. Think 1- and 2-storey shop fronts along Edith Street, Bay Terrace, classic timber Queenslanders in the back streets, and the odd block of units near the water. There's not many properties in the city centre that top 3 or 4 stories. That's the Wynnum that most locals know, and exactly this is about to change. What this new plan actually does. The Wynnum Central Suburban Renewal Precinct Plan covers the core of Wynnum, roughly all the area around Wynnum Central Station, Tingle Road, Bay Terrace, and the streets running down to the foreshore. The big idea is more homes, more shops and offices, and a livelier town centre, all built up rather than being sprawled out. The headline change is the height, guys. So from today's low-rise street scope that's common in the area, buildings can go up to 5 stories around the edges, stepping up to 12 and 15 stories even in tighter clusters near the train station on bigger sites. There's also around 75,000 square metres of new commercial space on the cards. Council has actually trimmed the heights back after locals pushed back hard during consultation periods. So what's been approved is a notch gentler than the original draft. There's already a flagship project lined up. We're talking the $400 million plus development near West Avenue and Kitchener Park, promising around 400 new homes across a mix of apartments, villas and penthouses. So if you're already owning Wynnum, firstly, take a breath. Your house is not getting bulldozed. But the rules around what can be built near you and on your block may have shifted. This can cut both ways. On the upside, more permissive zoning can lift land value, especially for bigger sites or anything close to the station. On the flip side, a 12-storey neighbour isn't everyone's cup of tea, and more density means more traffic and of course more parking pressure. If you're thinking of selling into this, the renewal buzz is a genuine selling point. Buyers love a suburb that's going somewhere. Just make sure your contract and disclosures are sorted properly so a buyer doesn't get cold feet at the pointy end. All right, now if on the other side you're looking to buy, especially off the plan, here's where it gets interesting. A lot of these new homes will be sold off the plan, meaning you're buying before it's built, often years prior. That's exciting, but it comes with its own rulebook. I've spoken about this a lot over the years of the blogs. Off the plan contracts in Queensland have quirks most people don't see coming or know. Things like sunset clauses that allow a developer to walk away, deposit and disclosure rules, and a small matter of the finished product not always matching the brochure, so your render versus reality. Getting the contract checked before you sign, not after. It's a lot cheaper to ask questions early than to be stuck later. All right, now let's not forget Wynnum and flood risk. This is the bit people skip, and it's a big one on the Bayside. Wynnum hugs the foreshore and carries flood and storm tide risk. And of course, there's things like creeks and estuaries throughout the suburb. Here's the kicker, guys. Under a standard REIQ contract, flood history gives you no automatic right to pull out once you've signed. None. If the property floods, that's on you. It's buyer beware. There's free mapping tools online, and the idea is you look that up before you commit. So the homework has to happen up front. Before you commit to anything near the water, new build or old Queenslander or anything in between, get a flood report and proper pre-contract advice before you sign. You can find all this information for the flooding transparently online, guys, nice and easy, so you know what you're buying beforehand. We've also got a guide in our blog if you want a bit more information. So is this a good thing for Wynnum? A quick look at both sides and then we're done. So the answer, it depends on who you ask and we'll happily stay out of the politics. Ain't nobody got time for that. But it's a fair question. So here's a quick look at both sides of the coin. So the case for it, more homes right where people actually want to live, walking distance to the train, the shops and the bay, which helps ease Brisbane's housing squeeze. A busier town centre means more cafes, more jobs, more foot traffic, and a tidy value bump for well-placed properties. Now, the case against, it's a big change in character. Jumping from a couple of stories to 12 or 15 stories is a long way from a sleepy Queenslander, and not everybody wants that at their doorstep. More people means more pressure on parking, traffic, and local infrastructure if those don't keep pace with the building. Whichever side you land on, the change is coming, regardless of whether you like it or not. So the smart move isn't to cheer or boo. Instead, you just got to understand how it's going to affect your circumstances and your property. The bottom line, Wynnum's renewal is a big move for the Bayside. More housing, a fresh town centre, and a suburb on the up and up. But exciting suburb and smart purchase aren't automatically the same thing. Whether you're selling in the boom or buying a new slice of the new Wynnum, a quick chat before you sign is the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. That's our patch, guys. Bayside Conveyancing. Our Wynnum HQ is right in the heart of this renewal centre. We live and breathe Wynnum property. Our business started in Wynnum before we even had an office. If you want to give us a call or an email, we'll make sure you're looked after. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Wynnum Town Centre Plan. What do you think? Good thing, bad thing, don't know, don't care. We want to hear from you. Personally, I think it's a good thing. It's going to boost the property prices, and everyone loves the Bayside. Everyone loves being close to the water. Leave your comments below. Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that all advice is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. This is authorised by George Souris Empire Legal, Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia.